Are we rolling?
Speed.
All right. Does that mean we're rolling?
Yes, it does.
We're rolling.
All right. Hey, what's going on, all you fat fucks out there? This is episode number 47 of the F.A.T podcast. We're rolling here, boys. This has been what?
It's been a couple weeks, yeah.
5th or 6th episode since being in quarantine?
Yeah.
Like 7th.
7th? Wow.
7th? Oh, wow, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because I think 5 Corona casts, then the Pixar episode, and now this one.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Yeah. The Pixar episode
right.
that we were luckily able to save.
Yeah, that one freaked me out. I was going to be
in episode 1 dive there, huh?
Yeah, I was going to be pissed if that didn't work out. So.
It's like our best episode in God knows how many years, and we lose it. So
yeah.
Our best episode since episode 1 of Beyond Kayfabe, which was also lost.
How many more times can we mention that?
Yeah.
That's show business.
I think
at least twice, 2 more times in this episode. So
okay.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because the first one I'll say it was me since it was my computer. Then it was the Dandy, so it's up to Bubs and Mike. But I looked into it shortly after, and I guess on everybody's should have a video saved. Like I looked at mine and I realized, like, oh shit, every call has been saved, but it only saved it for 30 days. So
okay.
You got
to download it after that.
Should the same thing happen to you tonight, Dave, one of us here, me, Bubs, or Mike should have a copy of it, so we should be fine.
Well, I think it became available to all of us at the same time.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the delay.
Because after Dave said that we lost the episode, I went and I checked on my Skype and it wasn't there. And then I went back a couple hours later, and that's when I messaged you guys, hey, look what I found. So...
Yeah, I think it took 24 hours to render or whatever. So,
but it's good seeing you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually got to see the Dandy in person.
Oh yeah.
Like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Week and a half ago. So.
Yeah, it was the day after we recorded. So.
Yeah. So it was good to see the Dandy.
Yeah, we went and got a new car, so.
Oh, sweet.
What kind of car did you guys get?
Jeep Renegade.
Oh, okay, nice.
So, like
2020?
No, 2019.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's why I was in the area. If I wasn't in the area, I probably wouldn't have came down.
Well, thanks.
Did you give your brother the 3 courtesy honks? It means get your ass out here.
No, I went inside. I just kept, I just kept my gator on. So up until I went outside.
Yeah, until you came outside with me and Elizabeth.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, at this point, at least with you guys, it's been a hell of a time, and you guys should be good to go. I mean, if you had it, it's gone now, and if you were going to get it, you would have gotten it by now, kind of way of thinking, because I don't think you're doing anything really different than you were doing before. So, visiting a friend or family, I mean, that should be fine, so.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, as long as there's people you trust and that he can keep safe with, I think you'll be okay.
I'm still convinced I got it back in January or back in December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, because both Elizabeth and I got really sick in December.
Yeah.
With like a really bad flu cold thing. So I'm convinced I already had it.
Yeah, I kind of got sick like that, I think, in like February for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's kind of the really scary thing about it, though, is that could have just been, the flu or, the seasonal sickness, because they're very similar.
Yeah.
And they can get really, really bad. I mean, I know that I've had, really bad, spells, if you will, when I was younger, and I had to go to the hospital because my fever just would not go down. So, I mean, it's possible, but again, it's really hard to tell. But I would imagine that since you did have something, your body would be at least a little bit more prepared to handle that. So, but it's really crazy when everything happened during that, like, quote unquote flu season. So it's like, you don't know what you had. You know,
Yeah.
so
yeah,
and
I
right
think it
now,
just happened so fast.
yeah, you know, right now it's really big on allergies too. So, you know, people might kind of panic. That's
Yeah.
why it's always good to kind of be up to speed with, you know, the symptoms and what's going on, and, you know, just kind of checking yourself and, you know, kind of playing it by ear, you know, because even if you don't have it, you can still have something, and it sucks for someone else to catch it. So, you know, it's always always good to be on the safe side of things, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I know I didn't have it, but I had something similar back in, I think it was February, because I got like a pretty bad cold that ended up becoming a chest cold.
Yeah.
So, and I started to get my, you know, I didn't get like a fever or anything, but my chest got like really junky. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so I don't know, but you know, I'm still taking precautions. I mean, we all have to wear masks now in California. So
Yeah.
whenever we're in like a business or whatnot or a gathering.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wear to work every day for 8 hours, so you know.
yeah.
I've been doing that.
It doesn't bother me too much. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure none of us actually like wearing things on our face 8 hours a day.
At this point, like Mike, I've gotten used to it.
Yeah.
To the point where I think it'll probably, like, even when my security work comes back, like my regular site, that I'll probably just end up wearing it even after all this blows over, because it actually does help me with my allergies too.
Yeah.
Because I'm not constantly like breathing in dust and pollen and whatnot. So
I'm okay with it now. I was wearing the N95s or the KN95 masks, whatever they are. Yeah, KN95 that the schools were supplying us, but they just don't fit my face right.
Yeah, same here. Yeah.
But
it's because you got a beard.
Yeah.
Well,
it can't like establish like a real seal on your face.
Well, it can't. It doesn't even reach down to my chin.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got Bankston big face syndrome.
Exactly, we got BFS. So,
Yeah.
but I bought a couple of masks at Target a couple of weeks ago, and the thing is huge, and it actually goes under my beard.
That's cool.
It gives me a good seal. So
that's cool.
Since I've gotten that one, it's been a little bit better. But
that's cool.
Yeah,
that's why I rep the Gator. So.
Yeah, I can't find any Gators anywhere.
Yeah, I have I know they have them on Amazon, but
what are you talking about? What is that?
Like one of those neck sleeve things.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, like I've actually been kind of like looking into those too. Like those actually seem really cool to wear. So yeah, there you go. Okay.
So
yeah, because I was looking online and they actually have like a cool they have some cool Batman ones. Like they have one that's like a Two-Face one that you can wear.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. It's got like the regular side and then of course like the Two-Face side. So I don't know, that one kind of was seemed pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get all fashionable with it if you want, you know. So.
Yeah. Like that Bret Hart one I have, it's not made for somebody with a fat face, so and it's like legit, and the material's not stretchy enough, so.
Yeah.
So
you know, in the way I was thinking
that one does kind of make it hard to breathe. I will admit that. Yeah, because it doesn't fit my face properly. So
yeah, it's two out of 5.
Yeah, 2 out of 5 stars.
But what have you guys been up to since the last time we spoke?
Working.
Yeah,
mainly. Let's see. Just that. I was straight out of Compton the other day, but I can't think. I almost thought of something else, but
for the first time or just
no,
again?
I've seen it like 4 times.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right.
Dave did it for the culture.
Right.
No, it's just I really enjoy that movie.
It's a pretty good movie.
It is a good movie, yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I've been just working, like working a lot of my job, and then of course as you guys have seen, I've been doing a lot of my figure photography, so that's keeping me pretty busy and entertained.
I still have to watch that video that you sent.
Which one?
Didn't you send us a video through Messenger?
I think I did, yeah.
I think that was you sent us a couple. The second one, the one most recent one you sent us was the trailer for,
Yeah.
or like the
Snyder
teaser
Cut.
for the Snyder Cut.
Snyder
But
Cut,
Oh,
yeah.
that was okay.
Yeah.
He,
Yeah, and then I've just been sending a bunch of photos though, but yeah.
Yeah, he sent some test shots, and I don't know if he posted the test footage. It's like a couple of seconds long. I know he sent that to me when we talked on the phone, but I mean, from what I saw, I could tell you guys it looks pretty sweet. I mean, actually, like the set design that him and his lady have been doing are absolutely phenomenal, man. I mean, it's like really detailed and really cool, and I mean, for something that just sounds as simple as like, yeah, I'm just going to make a movie with my my dolls, if you will. If I take a page out of Jeremy's book, they're not action figures; they're dolls.
I can see Mad
simple as-
Mike in his room with a flashlight, like with Will Smith in The Fresh Prince with his Don Cornelius action figure.
Oh yeah.
I can see Mad
To the
Mike
max.
with his Batman.
I mean, I have like over here. I have like this. This is where I have my Batcave set over here, and then on this other side, I got all my like figurines. I don't know if you can see them there. So,
I'm glad you're not watching porn right now, Mike.
absolutely
Yeah.
not.
it's just, I was just thinking ballsy of you to show the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've known Mike for many years, and everything that he said is true. So,
Yeah.
but no, it looks really sweet. He'll tell you that I'm constantly like, just like, hey, is it done yet? Because I want to watch it, because it's his Back to the Future one was really cool, and I mean, I really enjoyed it, and these little it's almost like an actual DC movie. You get these little snippets and these little tweets, and you're just like, all right, when's the movie going to come out? So.
That's the thing about stop motion. I mean, as you know, like it's a process. So it's gonna be a minute. Yeah,
I do know that's what I was studying before I got into film was stop motion, and it's a fucking pain in the ass. That scene from Parks and Rec is exactly how it is. You work for months and months and months, and you only have 9 seconds of footage.
Yeah.
I for one am happy to see that you're doing this, Mike, because I know how you talk about it so much, and I know how passionate you are about it, and never really gotten to see your work, but recently with the horror film and now the Back to the Future and then the Batman photography and all that stuff, it's really cool to see, man, and I'm real proud of you, dude, and I hope you can just build a bigger portfolio and it leads to bigger things for you, man.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. That's what I'm trying to do, and actually, like, especially with the photography part of it, like, I don't know, it's just like it's a lot of fun actually, to kind of get the figures, and then like with all the sets I've been building, it's actually a lot of fun to do. So
nice,
it's good shit.
Yeah. I could see. I was listening to the Major Wrestling podcast a couple of weeks ago, and I got sucked into like a rabbit hole of watching people in their wrestling photography with their wrestling action figures and stuff.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, I can see Mike doing this kind of stuff too, man. It's kind of
cool. I mean, like I was there the other night, like the ones I posted, those black and white ones. I was there for hours doing that shit. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So you're listening to the Major WF pod now.
I listened to like, I think half of an episode.
Yeah.
And I got lost because I had no fucking idea what they were talking about.
You kind of have to, because they have like a lot of in jokes.
Yeah.
So it's sort of like, how we like the whole like Sky Dome thing that joke that we used to have and everything. So it's like when we would do it on like episode 102 of Beyond Kayfabe, it's like, what the hell are they talking about?
Yeah.
So, but. Yeah, you kind of have to start listening to it from like episode 1. Yeah. The problem is they go down that whole podcast hole that we did, where it's like, oh, we're going to keep it tight, like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour. And now they're up to doing like 2.5 hour, 3 hour episodes.
Yeah.
So,
it's a little comforting to know that it's not just us. I mean, nowadays everybody has a fucking podcast about everything. So.
Yeah.
And I mean, our story, pretty much like, me and Mike learning to play guitar, we just did it. We figured it out as we went along, and it got a little bit better and whatnot. So, I mean, I still think one of our greatest achievements was that at one point with our shitty ass Radio Shack mics and really basic gear, our shit sounded better than the Nerdist. So I remember listening to a few episodes, and
that's rotting away right here in my closet.
Yeah. it's like, damn, dude, those guys have money, they have the equipment, and
Yeah,
it's like,
they got them.
it
Yeah.
sounds like it's compressed the shit, dude. It's too compressed, so. But yeah, I mean, it's just this is just fun shit, and we've been doing it for fucking 6 years. I feel like we're gonna do it until we die, and that's fine. At some point we will have to get better.
Yeah.
I will say I've been handling pretty much everything as far as like the graphics and the like the when I say the graphics I mean like the cover art and the editing as far in Audacity and uploading the episodes via YouTube. So yeah, I now I feel bad for what Crispy had to go through doing all the editing, and he was actually doing like decent editing. I'm just kind of snipping stuff together. So
no, man, don't feel bad at all, dude. I mean, it's something that I love to do, and podcasting or music is where it started, man. It's just for me, like I just get really anal about stuff. Like when I'm editing, especially film footage. Mike will tell you, he's seen it, dude. Like I will sit there and I will look at something to sync it up for like just hours at a time because there's like a flow to it, and for me, it took so long because my old computer was such a slow piece of shit that the rendering would take like hours to do. And then finally I can get in and chop it and do everything. But with my new PC, it goes by like really fucking quick and it's easy to do. But, I mean, Dave, you're doing great work too. It's just, for me, a lot of the technique was, from years and years of doing film and applies over, but your graphics are great, man. Everything that you've been doing since the very beginning. I mean, it's top notch, dude. Even when we used to, hawk our merch, I mean, some of that shit, like it was fucking amazing what you did. And I think that you don't give yourself enough credit sometimes, and that's fine. I mean, we all kind of are that way, but it's great. And I think your best work is yet to come, man. So hats off to you.
I respectfully disagree because I've been in a creative rut for like 4 years now. But I will say I did enjoy the little clip I put in front of the last episode, the audio version of the last episode of the Pixar one. I don't know. You guys will have to go listen to it afterwards. So
I didn't listen to it.
Yeah,
but I guess.
Yeah. I actually listen to good podcasts. So
like interesting enough, like I know we like surprised, like it seemed like I don't know if it's because the internet connection has been better, which God, I hope it's a lot better this time because I'm on my Wi-Fi instead of the Ethernet, or I hope it's still as good, but like I've noticed the quality of the video is a bit better. Not the last episode because I don't know what Skype did during the rendering, but it was kind of awful. So,
well, I recently got mine boosted or fixed. So before it was like I kept cutting out, and the signal's a lot stronger. It's a lot better. So I don't know if that's contributing to it. Plus, you did download the program again. Sometimes they have the bugs and all that shit. So it is what it is. I mean, look, much like what Mike's doing with so little, and he's making it so great. I mean, the fact that we're doing this, I think it is great. Because we're making it happen. Doing the podcast every week at the studio. I mean, for me, the number one thing was getting to see you guys on a weekly basis, and doing this podcast, with the current situation, getting to see you guys, is fantastic. So, it is what it is, man. I mean, everyone's online now, dude. So I'm kind of surprised that everything is working as great as it is because people have been at home and everyone's been on Wi-Fi, everyone's been on the internet. I was really surprised that there was no serious issues. So, as long as it keeps going, man, we're good.
Well, I mean, luckily now that we know this works, if we ever don't ever feel like when we're allowed to start, going back to the studio and whatnot and recording that way, if we don't feel 1 week like all gathering together at, Bubba's place, we could just do it over the internet and it wouldn't be a big deal. So,
oh, good.
Yeah. It's great to have options, It's good to do it. And I mean, we make it happen, man. That's what we do. That's what each and every one of us has the ability to do is we just make the shit happen. So,
Yeah.
You know, with that being said, a hell of an introduction. Got a few talking points, you know, for today. You know, we attempted a list, and I just want to say right now that I don't know why I thought it was going to work, but after we tried to do it, I realized that was probably not the best idea. Because I figured at the very least, okay, maybe Dave and Bubs would have a few similar ones, and maybe me and Mike, you know, but the results don't lie, and we were not able to actually. It would constantly be a debate. It would take hours to actually do, and you know, the best thing to do was just, okay, we're not going to do a list. We're just going to talk about it, bring up some of our favorite ones. So we got that, you know, coming up on this episode. For those of you choosing to stick around.
Yeah, we have a few other things to talk about before we get into the real serious stuff. Do we want to save that for the end of the episode, or do we want to like after the list, or do we want to do the list last?
We could probably do the list last, you know, just get that stuff out of the way, you know, just talk about it and then just end it on a good note, you know.
But I know one of the things we mentioned was, and we have already mentioned it, but the Snyder cut of the little snippet that he sent. What'd you guys think of that?
I thought it was cool. It was great.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it was kind of like, I think that was some of the footage that we probably saw in the original trailer. But yeah, just I could already kind of tell from, I mean, it was just a little part. They didn't, not much was shown, but I mean, just the overall tone I could tell was a lot different, a lot more serious, a lot darker. So,
yeah.
I mean, from what I could tell anyway, but
well, I
mean, I was rolling with it.
Yeah. I mean, well, the footage that they sent out was was Wonder Woman discovering like a shrine or something to Darkseid, right?
Yeah.
So, like, Darkseid wasn't even in he wasn't even in the original Justice League version.
Yeah. No.
So that's going to be interesting to see how this turns out. I know they're putting in like quite a bit of money into this cut.
But 20, I think they said about 20 million.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is pretty much like a whole another film budget. So
yeah, and they're not doing any, as far as I know, they're not doing any like refilm, or like they're not refilming anything. So it's pretty much all based off existing footage.
Yeah.
So I know I read that Henry Cavill, was that just a rumor with Henry Cavill coming back as Superman, or did he officially sign back up to come back as Superman?
I think what they said is that he was working on a deal where he's gonna, I mean, not his own feature film. That's cool. Not his own feature film right now. Yeah, that's cool. How'd you do
that? Crispy showed us how to do it a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
I updated my Skype and now I can do it. So.
Oh, nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Watch out, bub. Someone's on your ass right there.
Yeah, I haven't been able to figure that out. So. Yeah, I don't even have like the option to put like a background or anything on. And I upgraded my Skype also. So.
That's weird.
Yeah. Stupid computer. What the hell is that noise?
Probably my TV.
Who's screaming? Oh. Sounds like two people screaming at each other.
Well, it is over the studio, so wouldn't be surprised if that was happening. So
yeah,
very true. But yeah, I mean, did the clip that they sent out of it, are you getting more excited for the Snyder Cut, or like, is it still the same expectations? I mean, what's your opinion on that? So,
I mean, I was really excited by what I saw. I mean, you know, you hear about the Snyder Cut, you know, you don't know what to expect. There's probably a few deleted scenes, this and that. But if this was something, you know, from the archive that they had filmed, that was like, okay, now I'm really interested to kind of see what direction, you know, they would have gone if Snyder didn't, you know, step away. So for me, I think the involvement of everybody, you know, the studio's really backing this up, making a big deal, is that when Justice League came out, like, it just did not do very well and left a lot of, you know, bad taste in a lot of people's mouths, So it's kind of like a redemption thing. And I think people are curious. I think when they see that, they go, okay, you know what? Like, this actually looks like pretty legit stuff that, you know, should have been released, that maybe would shape the story in a different direction, maybe change the tone of the film. I don't know. But it's kind of like a, you know, a second attempt to do it. And I mean, the HBO Max thing is kind of an interesting call. Releasing it where you'd have to pay for it to see it, but that would have been the case either way. I'm curious to see what's going to happen at that time. I know that Disney removed their free trial. They got to the point where they're like, you know what, fuck it. You're going to get it or you don't, so they don't do that anymore. I don't know how HBO Max is going to treat it come 2021. But for me, man, I'm excited. And that footage was enough for me to be like, you know what, I think I will check it out. Granted, there is plenty of time between now and then that information can be released, more footage could be released. But so far, I think of it as like when you get a really good free sample, you go to a Costco and they give you like a really generous portion for a free sample so you can really, enjoy what you're eating. You can taste what the fuck you're eating. That's how I see it,
There you go.
But yeah. So
what?
I'm over here playing with the damn thing. I'm listening, but I'm playing with it.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
But I think too, like what Chris was saying, and even then, it's just like it's kind of a cool time again. I think to be a DC fan because they're kind of like, it is kind of like a redemption thing, and they're trying to like fix some errors that they were doing in the past, obviously. And speaking of that, I guess I heard in August too that they're supposed to have their own separate kind of like Comic-Con event called EC Fandom or something, whatever. And and it's just gonna be all about EC stuff and Snyder Cut and the Batman movie that is coming out, Wonder Woman, all that kind of stuff. So that should be pretty cool. So I think we're gonna get a lot of cool footage out of that. So
I'm just hoping that the cut actually makes the movie. Like, I liked Justice League to an extent. Like, I didn't think it was terrible, but it wasn't great. It was just kind of like it was like a middle of the road like Marvel movie. Like
the first Avengers.
Yeah, like the first Avengers or like the first Iron Man or whatever. Right. Just like very middle of the road. But obviously, first Iron Man was better. But you know what I'm saying? Like comparative, where you would rank it. It's like out of all the DC movies, it's kind of middle of the road. I'm hoping that this cut is good, and then I'm also hoping that Wonder Woman also does pretty good.
Yeah.
So
that was pretty good.
Well, I think a big factor when you do a movie like Justice League or the Avengers is that when you do a movie with an individual character, it can do good or do bad. But when you're bringing all these big characters, the Justice League, Avengers, these are some of the heavyweights of their intellectual properties. You kind of expect it to be something really good. And the Justice League, the DC movies that have been released leading up to Justice League, I mean, they've been hit or miss. So you were kind of hoping that when they all come together, it'd be something really special. I thought the first Avengers one was really good in that sense that, you brought everybody together. It was decent. So I think that might be part of it too, that it's not a horrible movie. It's not the worst comic book movie that I've ever seen, but it's just like I did have some expectations that weren't met. And I think they were pretty reasonable. Like I wasn't thinking like, oh, you're not staying true to the comics or the story, this or that. But it was still, you expected something because it was like, like a in music, it was like a super group, and you kind of like, oh, well, these guys individually kick ass, but when you bring them together and they suck or it's not as good, you're just a little disappointed.
Yeah.
I watched the little teaser footage that was sent out. My expectations haven't changed. I mean, I'm gonna watch it regardless.
Yeah.
I just hope it's good. Didn't really care much for the actual Justice League movie. Usually I will go back and I will watch a movie 2 or 3 times before I make a final judgment on it. I've only seen Justice League once.
Yeah.
And that's all I really needed because I was just like, it was okay, but it wasn't rewatchable okay.
Yeah.
So with just having the Snyder Cut, it turns the movie into a completely different movie. So of course I'm going to watch it. Yeah, and I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's every time you see any movie, you hope it's good.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When Justice League came out, my expectations were really high because it's like, okay, this is DC. I love DC. At the time, I was more of a DC guy than a Marvel guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is their time to prove them wrong. We were coming off of a couple decent movies from DC, but it didn't really deliver on the level that it should have, because like Crispy was saying, it's like a super group, and rather than having this awesome supergroup like an Audio Slave or something like that. We got damn Yankees. You know.
Yeah.
That's a great fucking example, dude. Damn Yankees, they suck.
Yeah, and the movie was, see, now Dave's getting in on it. But as far as expectations go, yeah, the expectations are still there. I want to see it, and I just hope it's good. That's all I can really say. I just
hope it's good. I'm hoping it's good too. If anything, it's definitely going to be a different movie. I mean, from the one that we saw, because like Snyder was saying that he hasn't seen the theatrical cut at all, but he goes, I know for sure that like my movie he saw, he goes, they only put maybe about 25% of what I filmed in that movie, and then everything else is not even there. You know, so it's like a separate thing.
Yeah, but for the footage for me, it wasn't enough to be like, oh, this is going to be the greatest movie ever, or oh, this movie is going to be shit. Yeah. You know, it was a tease the way a tease should be.
Yeah.
You know? Like, oh, okay.
To kind of get a kind of a tone of what it could be, but not enough to really be like, oh, okay, that's for sure going to be fucking awesome, you know? But,
right.
I think the main objective that what they were looking for, the studios anyways, was that like, based on what you see, would you watch it again? And I think the answer is yeah. I think that so far, I'm curious to see expectations. I can't really get into it because again, essentially it's not going to be a completely like different movie. You know, we would have a lot of the same footage, but there's just, it goes in a different direction.
Yeah.
And, you know, Snyder was saying, and this is true with Hollywood, we all know this, that, when the director loses control and has to kind of bow down to the studio and make these changes, it does affect the art. I mean, I think Blade Runner is a great example. If you watch Blade Runner, the original theatrical cut, it's a good movie, but the final director's approved real deal cut or whatever the fuck they call it, which I own, is a much better film. And it's little scenes that were removed that do make it a better story. And that's the important thing, is the story. So again, I think that the general census from people is like, hey, this is, I'll check it out. And then after they check it out, we'll see if there's been any sort of amendments to opinions, if it's gotten better, if it's gotten worse. But right now, I'm curious to see it. It's what a good trailer should do. Shows you just enough to kind of say, yeah, I'll see it, or nah, I'm gonna pass. Yeah. So look good to me. You know.
Well, where they've always killed it is in their animated films. Because pretty much every single animated film I've seen has been awesome. And I just recently watched the latest one, the Justice League Dark Apocalypse, and that was fucking phenomenal. Fucking phenomenal movie. Fucking great, dude.
Where DC hits that Marvel hasn't hit is animated movies and television.
Yeah.
So
I will say the only thing about recent DC films that I don't like is that they've kind of went to more like of an anime style of animation.
Yeah.
Like it still has that like DC like the way they draw DC characters, but it looks more like an anime. Yeah. I wish they would go back to where like how like Sub-Zero or Mask of the Phantasm was made.
Right.
That kind of art style. So
it's Afghanistan animation.
Yeah. But
love it.
My thought on it is that I hope it's good because the Birds of Prey movie I thought was really good.
Yeah.
And it bombed at the box office, like big time. Which sucked, because it's like, okay, they give you a good film, and then it barely makes $100 million or whatnot.
I think, I think the big problem with that too is that it was just kind of they were kind of like they didn't know where to go with the marketing on that movie. Yeah. So it just kind of gave like the wrong idea to a lot of people, but I don't know.
I mean, they changed the title of the movie the second fucking week it was out. So.
Yeah, I mean, like. Because they're like, we fucked up on that marketing. Let's try it this way, and I don't know. It seems
they messed up in the title initially because when you go to a theater and you're going blindly, you don't know what's out, and you see Birds of Prey. People don't know who the fucking Birds of Prey are.
Yeah.
But you put Harley.
Unless you're like
Quinn,
a hardcore fan, yeah.
Then people, I know who Harley Quinn was. I saw that movie. I liked her in that.
Yeah.
I will see that.
Yeah. That would have been a great, a bigger way to like, to the general audience,
Yeah.
But it goes to show too. I mean, like Guardians of the Galaxy, I had no idea who the fuck they were. Ant-Man, I didn't really know, but I don't know. Maybe it might be a case of marketing, how it's approached.
Yeah, again, that, I think it was the marketing, which was the big problem.
But Crispy, yeah.
Aren't you glad we were wrong about Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, I am, dude. I openly admitted it after we saw it, man, because again, to me, it was the school of thought of like, well, I don't know every single thing, but if I, should know a little bit about it, then I can form an opinion. But I'm just like, man, I don't know who these fuckers are. And my childhood was healthy in comics. So it's like, kind of surprised I've never heard, no one's ever talked about any of these, people or characters. And like, even for me, like there's people that don't know, like, Sandman, or don't know, Constantine the Hellblazer, but I had heard of them through people. So it was like, I was really surprised. I'm like, man, they're going to spend a lot of money on this movie. I don't know, man. It probably might bomb, but I was happy I was wrong, because that movie was fucking great. It was amazing in a 3D that I saw it in, I went the whole package, I was on a date that night with a lovely young lady, and I looked at her and said, "There's absolutely no fooling around. We're not gonna pay attention.
It's not gonna happen."
Hey guys, sorry to go off topic, but I think we broke a personal Fat podcast record. 42 minutes in, and my wife's already asleep.
Oh wow, we put her to sleep that fast, huh?
We didn't even have to be there.
Yeah.
So.
I for one think we can do better.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
Well, now that CJ has moved to Washington, we could we could probably clean up, or Virginia, whatever. Virginia's vagina.
Yeah.
But
that's West Virginia.
But we could probably clean up that room and just turn that into our new podcast studio.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
I think I heard we're gonna get somebody to clean it. That's what I heard. No, I'll do it, man. I'll be glad to help clean up. Help, not do it all is the key word.
Yeah.
Crispy will manage.
Sit and point.
I'll supervise. Right. I'll supervise.
I'll supervise the shit out of that job. So we'll see. Hey, let's pencil that in for a future thing, and we'll get a new studio, new equipment, hell, maybe even a new show.
Yeah.
Some new hosts,
Yeah, that's right, man.
It'll be a brand new Fat podcast. We'll get 4 in shape guys, and we'll still call it the Fat Podcast.
We'll just ironic, not painfully obvious.
We'll get 4 Filipinos to be the Fat Podcast with the PH.
There you go.
Fucking A, dude. It's already my job, anyways.
But so Justice League trailer or teaser came out. Did you guys see the little? I don't want to call it a trailer. It was more like a short film for the upcoming Candyman film.
I did not.
No.
What is her name? Nia DaCosta? Is that what it is? Yeah. Mm. Nia DaCosta. She put up this, it was like a. It wasn't it was not animated, but it was she used paper dolls, and it's behind it's like a shadow thing. It's like a short film, and it's explaining the plot for the Candyman and what leads up to becoming the Candyman becoming who he is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I didn't even know that they made that.
It was pretty freaking awesome. So
they covered the origin somewhat well in the first movie, and they kind of a little bit in the second one. I don't know. I think there's a third one. I don't know. It kind of sprawls off from there. But
I think there's 5.
Yeah. Yeah. People just don't learn, No, I haven't seen it. I didn't even know it was out there. I mean, my fingers on the pulse these days of what's happening, and there's a a lot of adult important shit going on that I really need to pay attention to. But no, I mean, I'm not even really watching TV or doing anything. So I'll check it out though, because I am interested. That was a movie that was on my radar. I think Candyman is a great story, and I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
I'll send you guys a link in the chat. So
there you go. Please do.
Yeah.
I did see on the Twitter machine today that it's not Candyman related, but Austin St. John made his triumphant return to the Power Rangers.
Oh, did he?
And actually morphed into the Red Ranger.
Nice.
Oh, shit.
So I don't know whatever incarnation of Power Rangers, bestiality or whatever the hell it is. Hell if I know, but there's a fan page on Twitter that leaked all the videos out, and it was actually kind of cool. I mean, the acting is even worse than it was 30 fucking years ago, and now he's got that like bloated old man. I used to be an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Shape face. Yeah,
I've seen pictures of him. He's definitely morphed, all right. So,
yeah.
All I know is that he was ducking the Green Ranger for a long time.
Yeah.
I guess he legitimately wanted to like fight him. You know.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Really?
in like a legit like karate competition, because they're both martial artists.
Yeah.
So, and I guess he just is like, no, I'm not going to do it. So, because Jason David Frank would kick the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. I saw that dude fight in a cage, and I couldn't believe it was him. Like I had to like do a lot of research, but that dude morphed in the best way possible.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. Like I know he came back years and years later for some sort of dino themed one where he was a professor.
Dino Thunder, I think it was. Yeah.
That sounds about right. I thought it was all right. I mean, it was. It's Power Rangers. I mean, we're looking at it through the eyes of an adult. I do a whole comedy bit about this. It's fucking on point, if I may say so. But you look at it when you're a kid, everything was great. But now you're an adult, you go, some of that shit kind of sucked. But I don't know. I think it did all right, and it's kind of a nostalgia factor. It's kind of be interesting to see the original Rangers get back together and kind of see what being a Power Ranger has done for their lives, and kind of see who's done well and who's hit rock bottom. I mean, I'd be curious to see that. The
everyone except
mighty
for
older Power Rangers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah. Well, of course,
Yeah, but I know with that Dino Thunder season, the one episode that I did watch and I did enjoy was Tommy got put into a coma, and he had to fight the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, and the Zeo Ranger, Red Ranger, because that's all of his Rangers.
Egos, yeah.
To get like all the pieces of his Dino Crystal, or Dino Gem, or whatever the fuck they call it.
Yeah.
So, and I remember that episode. I enjoyed that one, and then like a few years later, they did like the ultimate like
the Super Mega Force.
Yeah, Power Ranger episode where like they got like a shit ton of Rangers, and all the Rangers from like the past seasons came, at least the suits came back. They weren't all under the suits.
Yeah.
I personally,
he did show up though, and he was the White Ranger.
That season he did. I think he did one as the Green Ranger, the White Ranger also. Yeah, so
because I remember there's that one scene where that car is going over the ledge, and he sticks out Saba for the guy that's stuck in the car to grab onto.
Yeah.
So.
I will say I would love to see, because I mean, like, none of them are in bad shape or anything,
Oh, wait until you see Austin St. John's.
Yeah,
his face is bloated, but I don't think
he was still in
good shape. He just looks older. I mean, he's almost 50 years old, I think.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, they're all still in pretty good shape. I would actually love to see them. Like do like what is it, like not the Broken Universe, that's Matt Hardy, but it's like
that'd be an awesome crossover.
Yeah, that would be pretty awesome. So
it would make it work.
Yeah.
No, I mean, granted, he's in respectable shape, but I think he's at the point now where we're going to see less karate moves and more like, hey, don't we have fucking blasters on our sides here? Let me just shoot a few of these motherfuckers. Let's
Yeah.
save a little bit of time. So I don't know,
I mean-
but again, I'm gonna check it out because it's my overall love of the Power Rangers. I mean, that show made a big impact when I was a kid, so I'm inclined to check out everything. But for the record, the best episode of Power Rangers ever made across the entire fucking platform was in Dino Thunder, where they found out that there was a show in Japan based on what they did, which was actually the original show that they had copied here in America. That's the best episode because they intentionally and unintentionally crossed the fourth wall on that. And I think it's fucking great because it explains everything. Yeah. So that's the best episode of Power Rangers ever made.
Yeah.
The end.
I mean, I would like I was saying, I would love to see like even just like a short miniseries of like I think it's like The Grid or something like that with Lord Draken or Draken. So like I would love to see that and have all the old Power Rangers come back and whatnot, because they did that one to advertise like the comic. They had Jason David Frank do like a little like short trailer as Lord Draken, so or Draken or whatever how you pronounce it. So yeah. I was about to say, is Bubba frozen or?
No, I was reading something on Twitter.
Oh. Yeah. But
I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any other like entertainment, sports, anything like that you want to talk about before we get into the serious thing and then the list?
I have a couple of sports things. As of right now, it looks like baseball is just completely done. They're probably not going to play this season, and it's probably going to cause a bunch of rifts to where it's going to probably cause a delay in next season.
Yeah.
It's billionaires fighting millionaires over what's fair and what's not. Yet the players are going on Twitter saying, "Oh, you just tell us when and where, and we'll show up." But yet they're complaining about prorated salaries against X amount of games. And I understand, there's players out there that don't make as much money, but
they need to get paid. They need to get paid what they're owed.
Well, no, they need to get paid what they're owned on the contract. But there's other ways that they can negotiate their money where they may not get it this year, but they can get it somewhere down the line.
Yeah.
But like that's just not in the cards, I guess.
I understand, like, to an extent where the owners are coming from, because they will be losing a lot of money because they won't be having fans in the stands.
Right.
Like the league will be getting they'll probably get a shit ton of ad revenue.
Oh yeah. Well, a big thing that the owners were allowing players to do was to sell ad revenue to where they can put individual company logos on their jerseys.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted a Gatorade sponsor, they can go out there and they put a Gatorade sponsor on their jersey, kind of like NASCAR.
Yeah.
They were doing that. The owners actually agreed to that, which is huge.
Yeah. And I think the saddest part about this is the effect on minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Because this may just kill minor league baseball.
Yeah.
Which I know the owners were trying to do anyway, because they were going to cut. I think it was like 25, 30 teams, maybe more.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, like, I feel bad for them because a lot of these small towns, that's the most entertainment they're going to get.
Yeah.
And then like with the Angels, they had to furlough all of their Puerto Rican players or Dominican players.
Yeah.
So Albert Pujols is going to be paying all of the people that have been furloughed out of his own pocket.
Oh wow.
See, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, it's his choice.
I know it's his choice, but at the same time, it's like Artie should see that because he's worth fucking billions. Yeah. He should see how much of that money is going to be taken out of his pocket. Like how big of a is that? That's not going to bankrupt him.
No.
That's probably just going to kill like maybe a month of revenue for him.
Right.
The Dominican players.
But this shit's been going on for so long that I really don't care if baseball comes back this year.
Yeah.
Which sucks because I hate saying that as a baseball fan.
Yeah.
But it's going to be like the post-strike season all over again.
I mean, they're running out of time anyway.
Yeah, I mean, As of right now, I think what the players wanted was 70 games, and the owners want 60.
Oh God!
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So they're fighting over games played, and then have extended playoffs for 2 seasons, universal DH, but it's all coming down to the money, and they can't agree on it. So
I mean, the bottom line is that the coronavirus, this is going to go on for at least another couple of years.
oh yeah,
We're not going to get a vaccine anytime soon. Maybe by the end of next year, I heard. And that's hopeful. That's
that's being hopeful.
That's just being hopeful that we'll get a vaccine by that time. And so, I mean, fans in the stands, we may not be able to see sports for another couple of years. Which sucks, but
it'll be limited. I mean, we'll just go on to the next topic. I was going to talk about NASCAR. So this Sunday's race, tomorrow's race, is at Talladega, and they're going to be there. I think they're having 5,000 people in attendance. They had 5,000 people in attendance last week, but it was all invited servicemen and women to come up and attend the race. So they're slowly but surely allowing fans to come back. I can't remember which race it was, but they're going to allow it full capacity. So
I mean, that's a lot of fans, especially for NASCAR, because some of those stadiums could hold like 100,000 people.
It's a bit like I went to, I go to the Fontana race, and I think that place holds about 100,000 people.
Yeah,
but
I mean, luckily it's outside, so that's good. I mean, it's like if people weren't so stuck up about wearing masks, it honestly wouldn't be that big of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really all depends on it state by state. Like the NASCAR and IndyCar, they had a huge weekend planned for the 4th of July weekend where IndyCar and then the trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series races were going to run 4th of July weekend.
Yeah.
But now they were going to allow fans, but they made state mandatory where they can't have any fans in attendance. So
interesting.
That kind of sucks. And then the Pocono race that's coming up, they're doing a back-to-back weekend race at Pocono Cup Series.
Yeah.
And they were going to allow fans in attendance there, but Pennsylvania, they're not allowing fans either.
Yeah.
So, but
this is the problem with like everything opening back up is that I think we're just doing it way too early.
Yeah.
Like I know it sucks that we've been in stay at home for 2 months. California, they're starting to open up more stuff slowly.
Yeah.
Like they put in the order that you have to wear masks and everything, which is fine to me. I don't care. It's a mask. I can breathe in it. I have asthma, a deviated septum, terrible seasonal allergies, but I can wear a mask and still breathe.
Fat.
And I'm fat. And I have to, at the Walmart shift I was working, I have to, walk, 8 miles a day sometimes. And I could breathe just fine in it, so I just don't get the stuck upness about not wanting to wear one.
Yeah, and it's really kind of it's kind of a small price to pay if you want to go out and do things. I mean, especially for people shopping, like if they're not working and have to wear the mask all day, they're when they go out and they run errands, they're wearing their masks for maybe half an hour to an hour tops, and that's it. I mean, it's really not a big deal.
It's just like. It seems like if people weren't so like bad at it, and same with like social distancing.
Yeah.
A couple weeks or like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was walking Daisy around the neighborhood, and it was pretty late at night. It was probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock. We went by a house. There were 2 houses next to each other having house parties, and they were playing beer pong.
Yeah.
Just like.
People are gonna do what they're gonna do. I mean,
we're in stage. I think Riverside was allowed to go into stage 3, like while the rest of the state was in stage 2. I think they got like an exception. Yeah. But I'm like, if we just respected it for like another month or 2, we would be in stage 4. We would be in stage 4 sooner than ever. And this is the problem with sports is that now football players and NHL players and basketball players, they're starting to get the coronavirus.
Yeah.
So it's going to delay the return of that, if we don't start respecting this stuff. We want sports to come back and we want everything to open up, but we're not willing to put in the work to do it.
Mm.
And it's like, well, obviously you don't want it. You just want to be, something that's going to inconvenience you for, 30 minutes out of your day. I guess you don't want to do, so you don't want stuff to open up. You're just an asshole. That's what it is. So, I don't know. Like, I hope that sports can come back. I want the NHL playoffs to come back. I've been craving hockey.
Well,
even basketball, I've been craving, but basketball looks like
they're not going to play.
It doesn't even look like they're because I know I think it said like something like 30% of the players don't want to return. Now, granted, that's still there's still 70% of players that want to play.
Yeah.
But they don't want to play for multiple reasons. The Black Lives Matter protests and everything, which I can respect that. Don't get me wrong, but at the same time, if that's the reason why you don't want it to come back, and you're saying, "Oh yeah, we'll just come back next season," issues with the Black Lives Matter, systematic racism and whatnot, and police brutality, that's not going to be solved by October.
By the start of the next season.
So it's like, are you just going to not come back until real change is made? Like that. I don't understand. You can come back. You'll have a national platform. You can wear your Black Lives Matter armbands, your headbands, and everything. Right. The NBA is going to say, no, don't do that.
No, the NBA actually encourages it. I mean, they sell stuff on the NBA shop website that the players wear on the court.
Yeah.
So I mean, the NBA has been probably the most proactive organization when it comes to these Black Lives Matter protests.
Yeah.
And which I'll get to my second point now. It seems like the next organization that's been jumping on this and really trying to make a difference is NASCAR.
Yeah.
I mean, last week NASCAR made it mandated that nobody can fly the Confederate flag at the tracks anymore.
Good.
Which is absolutely huge. Like me, I like to consider myself politically in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
I like to say I'm like a conservative libertarian almost in a way.
Yeah.
But that flag for years, it's got to go. That flag has symbolized so much hate, so much racism, just so much bad stuff that has represented in this country for the longest time.
Yeah.
And it should have been done years ago. And to see NASCAR actually doing something about now is a good thing. Because it's not about alienating your fans, your old school fans. It's about welcoming new fans.
Yeah.
You want to be inclusive and you want new fans to come and see your sport. I'm not a black guy. I don't know what it's like to feel that way. But I could understand me if I were a black man sitting in the grandstands at a race and I'm looking to go across the backstretch and I have to look over 50, 60, 70 campers and all I see is that rebel flag or the Confederate flag flying in my face. That's going to make me feel a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to interrupt you. What is that noise?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Not on my side. You got a plane flying over, Crispy? Or?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt your little.
It's cool, but let me do this too. Is that you guys are rolling, and I think it's fantastic. But I'm unfortunately under a bit of a time crunch, and so I know we got a couple other things to cover. So I just want to bring that to your guys' attention. So, but I mean, I agreed with what you guys are saying. Absolutely. I mean, the rebel flag thing, I personally can go into for a good amount of time, but I'm with you on that. I think it's just like, look, there's more negative than positive. Why keep it around? Who gives a shit? Yeah. It's a representation of something, from a time where, it might have been acceptable for lack of better words, but it's a different ball game now, and it still means the same thing, and that's that. So
here's my thing. Only two types of flags should be able to be flown at a NASCAR race. The flag of your favorite drivers and the flag that won the Civil War.
Yeah.
And that's the United States flag. That's the one flag that we're all supposed to represent.
And
Right,
the
so-
state flag is fine. Of wherever the raceway
It
is.
depends what
Yeah.
state you're in, because
Yeah.
if it was the California flag, I'd turn that thing upside down because the state sucks. So, but yeah, last bit of NASCAR, but good job in NASCAR. I'm glad to see that. The comments on Twitter and everything about it are fucking just some of the most ludicrous, unbelievable things you would read in your life. I mean, these are the type of people that would look at a swastika and say, "Oh, that's just a plus sign doing cartwheels, man." So, I mean, some of these people are just ridiculous, but it's a majority of the fans that actually hate the fact that they've done this.
Yeah.
So, being on Twitter now and seeing like a lot of black people watching NASCAR and getting into it and asking questions, and I've actually talked to a couple of people about NASCAR through Twitter and stuff. It's been really good and positive interactions, and every time I see like an athlete or something say, "Oh, I like NASCAR now," I was like, "Well, welcome to our sport." So, but one last piece of NASCAR news, and then we'll get into the list. But Dale Jr. was inducted to the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
This past week. So
Right.
for me,
my guess is mainly for his influence on the sport as opposed to his accomplishments.
I mean, his accomplishments, they're nothing to sneeze. It's nothing to.
I know. I'm just joking.
All the Daytona wins, the Talladega. He's got 26 career wins, which isn't anything to sneeze at. It's hard to win a NASCAR race.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's 42 losers in each race, so
he's a two-time Busch Series champion, 15 consecutive years as NASCAR's most popular driver, and yes, absolutely the influence, especially now, with his podcast and him being an owner and all that stuff. But Dale Jr. getting to the Hall of Fame, that means a lot to me. He's probably one of my top 3 favorite athletes of all time.
Yeah.
So it was great to see that. So I would talk more about it, but I think we got to get into the list.
Before we do that, we'll touch on the wrestling news next week, especially because by then more information will come out. More, you can go on Twitter and look up what the big news in wrestling is. Just to let you know, we'll cover that next week. Obviously with Crispy being in a time crunch, we don't want to, because we could probably go into that for a while. So So
what's your time looking like, Crispy? How much longer do you got?
I gotta cut it at 9.
All right,
we got time. Yeah. So.
All right. So, with that being said, Crispy, this was your idea. So why don't you tell everybody what we're doing this week?
So it's been a while since we did anything food related. If you are an avid or somewhat avid listener of our show, we do movies, sports, food. So we're kind of scrambling our brains here, trying to think of a good topic that hasn't been done. I actually reached out to the boys, seeing have we done our favorite chips? I know we've done snacks and we've done lots of other stuff, and surprisingly we hadn't. So I pitched the idea of let's do a top 5 best chips. That being said, everyone submitted their list, and with the exception of me and Mike, nobody had the same fucking chips.
Yeah.
It was completely different. There were similar ones, I'll give it that. I mean, flavors were across the board, brands were across the board, but just not enough to really make a solid list. So it's our favorite chips. I guess it's our personal top 5. We can't do an official one.
Hey, Dave, are you over there calling your shot?
Yeah. No, I was asking Claire to turn on the light because I got wires all over me. So
okay.
So all right, since it's your list, Crispy, you could get into your number 5.
This is beyond kayfabe style right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say what it is and briefly go over it, find points to kind of rapid fire it. But my number 5 is Doritos Spicy Nacho. I actually do like the regular nacho cheese, but I tried spicy nacho way back in the day in high school, and to me, I think it just tastes much better. It's cheesier. It's not even really spicy. It's kind of a misleading name. I don't think it's spicy at all, but I think it's a really, really great cheese flavor for it. I think it surpasses the regular nacho cheese, which is also good. But my number 5 was the spicy Doritos nacho.
Have you tried the Flamin' Hot nacho?
I probably have. I'm not a big flaming hot guy, but I probably have.
They just recently came out, like I'd say about 6 months ago. But
no, I haven't.
It tastes like the nacho cheese Dorito, but with just a little bit of flaming hot powder on it. They're pretty spicy, but they're pretty good, man. I think you like it.
It sounds like it tastes like what the spicy nacho should be. It should be the nacho cheese with that, but it's a different. I don't know if it's a different blend of cheese or what they do, but like there is a noticeable difference. I think it tastes better. You could just call that nacho. And I think it's more along the lines of that name, but there it is.
All right. Who wants to go next?
Go ahead, Mike.
My number 5. Let's see. My number 5. I had a Ruffles cheddar and sour cream. You know what I mean? Like I love cheese, obviously. so this kind of cheese flavor, and it's kind of it's kind of like the best of both worlds for me. And like even like this flavor, it kind of goes back to just kind of my go-to snack whenever I have chips. Even I don't know if you remember Crispy back in the day when we were first doing some of the Madhouse films meetings in your garage there. Like we go to 7-Eleven, and I grab a bag of those chips, and I grab a big Dr. Pepper,
Oh yeah,
and we talk film. So
that's a throwback. That was kind of our thing. We used to get a big bag of those. I mean it's a fucking great flavor, So definitely me and Mike have many a days and nights splitting a bag of that. It's definitely a go-to. It's on my list too. It's actually number 4 on my list. So fuck it, I'll just throw that out there. It's just it's solid. It's good. The baked version is just as good, but I like the traditional one myself. So.
Yeah. The baked version, yeah, man.
What was the one oil that they used to cook the baked chips in that fucking made your asshole fall out?
Oh man,
like Alestra or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I think Alestra is some kind of a medication, but
oh my god, yeah, it seems like it.
I remember. Yeah, that was a big thing. No, I remember that was a big thing. It never happened to me, but
yeah, Alestra.
I'm used to eating, crap,
Yeah.
So
yeah, it says right here, Olestra.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
Oh no, the O is for how big your butthole's gonna get after eating that shit.
My God.
Oh, dude.
All right. My number 5 is Boulder malt vinegar and sea salt. I don't know what it is over the last. Strong.
They sound like they'd be strong.
They are pretty strong, like especially compared to like regular salt vinegar chips.
Yeah.
But they're like a kettle style chip, which over the last few years I've really gotten into kettle chips. They're the perfect side dish for revenge. So that's why I enjoy them so much. But weirdly, Claire's the one who got me into salt and vinegar chips. So I've really enjoyed.
That's Elizabeth's favorite too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
Salt and vinegar chips.
Well,
yeah.
I have my piece on that, and I'll get there.
Yeah. But whenever I'm at my Walmart shift, they have like the big lunchroom. They always have those in stock, and I've only seen those at that Walmart. So, and they're delicious. If you can find them, they're really good. Very strong, but really good. So
I think you could find them too at like Sam's Club. My brother has gotten them. They're actually really good. They got a lot of great flavors across the board. And they do like a barbecue. They do a cracked pepper one, which is outstanding.
I've had that one.
They even do like an olive oil one, which is not bad actually. It's really good. So these are great kettle chips, by the way, guys. If you ever get a chance to try them, absolutely, because they got the right consistency, good crunch. Seems like pretty generous with their bags. I mean, you get quite a lot of chips in there too. So it's really good.
I will say that companies have stepped up the kettle chip game, because I remember when kettle chips first came out, got big, they would like break your teeth. They were like that hard. So, but yeah, these are really good, And like I said, I like kettle chips more than I like regular potato chips. So, so Boulder malt vinegar and sea salt chips.
So a gourmet chip is what it is. It's finesse. Yeah. It's grown up.
All right, for
Mr.
me,
Bubs, you're number 5.
yeah. Before I get started, I'm gonna make a comment about chips.
Mm.
I don't care what brand it is, what type of chips. If it's barbecue flavor, it's gross, and you can go fuck yourself because barbecue chips are the nastiest things ever created. And if you like them, don't listen to the show anymore.
The only one I would disagree with. The only one I would disagree with is all dressed. Ruffles, I think it was. Those are good.
Well, all dressed is ketchup.
I know, but it still has like barbecue notes to it.
Yeah, but it's not barbecue flavored. I'm specifically saying barbecue flavor. I don't care if it's mesquite or honey barbecue or Texas Southern hot barbecue. They're all fucking gross and they taste like vomit. And you should probably just burn your taste buds off if you're gonna eat those chips. So
I gotta disagree with you, Bubs. We don't have the time. I get what you're saying. I applaud your courage and strength for saying that, knowing that barbecue is one of the most popular brands. But I'm with you so
just
far
because it's popular, it doesn't mean it's good.
That's why I said strength and courage. But anyways,
McDonald's is really popular. Also, that doesn't make it the best burger joint. So.
Anyway.
Meanwhile, in Crispy's statement, no, I want to revisit this with. I'm not going to try to convert you. It's more of like I don't want you to think that I'm a piece of shit for eating them. But I do agree that I've had some that were just god awful. I've had barbecue sauce that was god awful. So I'm with you on that. But I don't think that it's every single chip. But we'll revisit that another day.
We're gonna put a pause on this conversation and we'll save it for housekeeping on the next episode.
Okay. So anyway,
we'll do that.
Back to my list. Number 5.
I really hope you're number 5.
No, it's barbecue Lay's. No, I'm just kidding.
I was just gonna say, I really hope it's a barbecue one.
So,
go ahead, Bubs. What's your number 5?
Number 5, I found them at Stater Brothers one day, just randomly. And anytime I see something new, I have to buy it because I'm just a fat pig who wants to eat everything. But they were Cheetos brand Sweetos Cinnamon Sugar Puffs.
Those are delicious.
I've had these with you, man. They're like crack.
Yeah. They are very addicting. I don't know if they have the cinnamon sugar ones anymore. I know they have caramel flavored, and I haven't tried them. But they're like puffs in the shape of snowflakes because they were like a Christmas limited release.
It's a seasonal thing.
Yeah, it's a seasonal thing, but it tasted like just this light, airy, room temperatured, like churro almost.
Like
buttery.
The closest comparison would be like Taco Bell's. What are those things called?
Yeah,
cinnamon twist.
Yeah, they had the consistency of a cinnamon twist. They're a little bit small, like softer. Yeah, but they also had more of a buttery taste to them.
Yeah,
but I bought a bag, and I think I ate the entire bag in less than a half an hour.
Oh wow!
Because like I said, I'm a fat pig that can't stop eating.
And that's why you have diabetes.
And that's why I have the diabetes now.
Diabetes.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, all chips are filled halfway with air taking up the other half. But it's just, all I could say, dude, it literally tastes like heaven, dude. It is perfect. Yeah. It is not overpowering. It is not under. It is just like right, dude. It's amazing.
It's what I would imagine a cloud would taste like, but I know a cloud would probably taste like water. But
it tastes like
in my imagination. Yeah. Oh, fuck you, dude. Yeah. I'm trying to be more spiritual, and I believe there's a man that lives in the clouds. But if the clouds taste like barbecue chips, I'm more than happy burning up somewhere for eternity. So,
as long as you can get your Sweetos.
As long as I get my Sweetos cinnamon sugar puffs. So,
all right.
Number 4.
I'll say this really quick. When we do have that chat, Bubs, I'll bring a bag. Because at the very least, you can say, "Well, I had these." But I already said my number 4. It was the Ruffles cheddar sour cream, sour onion, whatever. Nothing else needs to be said, so I'll just go ahead and shift it over to Mike. You're number 4.
I mean, I'm gonna keep all my chips pretty basic because I'm a pretty basic guy when it comes to chips. Number 4, Funyuns. So,
bitch.
Yeah. I mean, like when it comes to chips, I'm pretty basic bitch as it gets. I mean,
I had gourmet Funyuns. It was like one of those like off-brand like gourmet ones. They were pretty good. So
I had some protein Funyuns. They were made of peas,
yeah,
and they actually tasted pretty good.
nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
yeah, I mean, it's a pretty basic flavor in a chip. I mean, I love onion rings, so I mean, and it does kind of leave kind of that aftertaste in your mouth and your breath, whatever. But it's some good shit.
I do appreciate a good flaming hot Funyun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Those are some of my
It's
favorites.
it's a classic middle school snack. It makes me think of middle school all day, every day.
Absolutely, Yeah.
Makes me think of half baked.
There you go.
All right.
Good
My-
call, Mike.
My number 4 is the Taco Bell mild tortilla chips.
Yeah.
These went away because they used to sell these at Taco Bell, like they were like a limited item, and then they went away for a long time, and then they started showing up at 7-Eleven. And every time I go into 7-Eleven, they have them. I buy like 4 bags. So,
Yeah.
like, I love mild sauce. I put mild sauce on everything pretty much. So, like, I'm a pussy. I can't eat hot stuff. So, like, I just love mild sauce. So,
Dave sweats when he thinks of ketchup.
no, that would
Yes.
that
That'd be someone
would
else we know.
that would be somebody else we know. In fact, I was actually talking to him while we were recording the podcast.
Oh, really? That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, they're enjoyable. Like, weirdly, like the last bag I had, they were kind of stale tasting, which I just think they may have been close to out of date. But I enjoy them. Like I said, I buy a bag and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat a few while I'm driving home from work, and then by the time I get home from work, the whole bag is empty,
It's already gone.
and then I feel
I
and then I feel empty inside. So
I thought you said you would go through a few bags, and I go, yeah, that sounds about right. But if you're talking about one bag, I'm like, dude, no, dude, you're at a red light. That shit's gone, dude. Because they got good. They're very flavorful, man. Like I didn't know what it was gonna taste like when I first tried it. I thought, oh, it's probably gonna have a little hint of it, but no, it's actually pretty decent. It's well done, you know.
yeah. I've dipped them in cheese sauce too, and they taste really good that way. So
Nice.
just a little tip. All right, Bubba, go ahead.
Number 4 for me. I just bought them randomly one day because I saw them at Cortina's Italian Deli,
Yeah.
and I wanted chips with my sandwich, and I loved them. But they're Zapp's Cajun Dill Gator Taters.
Gator taters. All right.
Yeah, they're dill pickle chips with a little bit of Cajun seasoning in them. They're they're kettle style, but they're softly cooked almost.
Kettle. Okay.
Interesting.
So yeah, they're not super hard, but they just have like a really like faint dill flavor to them, where it doesn't overpower, but it has a good amount of the Cajun seasoning to where it gives it a good enough kick. It's like eating a spicy pickle almost.
Nice.
Yeah, but they're really good.
So one flavor doesn't overpower the other flavor.
Right, they've got a good balance of both.
Nice.
So,
That's good.
Yeah, and I just bought them because they were in a white bag with like this gold and green and purple trimming with like an alligator like fighting on it. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna buy those. So
I was kind of hoping there was an alligator with sunglasses going, yeah. But dude, how could you not eat something called gator chips, right?
Yeah.
It's
Gator
just like,
tasers,
yeah,
man.
Gator-
dude, I'll have some of that.
You'd buy that for $1. So
I would.
You know, I would, yeah, absolutely.
And they sell them at Target too. So
Oh, okay.
Fucking
cool.
A.
I'll have to
There you
look
go.
for them. All right, Crispy, what's your number 3?
My number 3, I got to be honest, I'm a little surprised it didn't show up on anyone else's list because I thought that was pretty go to. But the Fritos chili cheese chips, man.
Okay.
I had lived quite a few years on this earth not knowing that they existed until I finally found them and realized, my God, I've kind of sort of been wasting my time. But
on regular Fritos.
I mean, Fritos are great in general, especially if you have a Frito pie. But like, make a Frito pie with chili cheese.
chili?
Yeah, you know it, baby. No, I can't say enough about these, man. They're really good. Jeremy, I just got him onto. He'll polish an entire bag in a sitting, dude. He's got that healthy, no appetite. So, but I think that the spice that they use, like the blend, how they put it together, how they dust them, I guess I don't know if it's a technical term. I think it's really good because I've never had one that was under flavored or over flavored. It just seemed like everyone was just right. And I know it's a technique, but it's got like a nice kick to it. Nothing too spicy, of course, but I kind of do get a little bit of that chili flavor, which is odd because I know every chili's different, but I can eat those and go, these are chili cheese for sure. So, plus you feel like you're getting a million of them in a bag because they're so small.
Chili cheese Fritos for me, like Crispy said, no matter what size of bag you get a lot, which is always a good thing. But it's one of the items that, as I've gotten older, I've liked less and less as I get older.
I'm the same way.
If we would have done this podcast 20 years ago, it would easily be my number one. Now they probably don't even rank in my top 20.
Wow.
Just now I eat them, and it's gross, but they kind of taste like vomit to me.
Interesting.
I don't know why, because I used to absolutely love chili cheese Fritos. Plus, it's one of my most quotable lines from the movie Friday. So, give me some chili Fritos. My money.
I'm the same way with the Fritos because Bubba mentioned barbecue chips, but the barbecue twists, I used to love those. Like I would eat those by like the bag full, like multiple bags at a time, which explains why I weigh as much as I do. But I'm the same. One of those things. I'm the same way. Like if I didn't get into like kettle chips, like I have, chili Fritos would probably be on my list. So,
well, I respect that. I mean, as you grow, your taste buds change, and not everything that you liked when you were a kid, moves over to when you're an adult. But to me, it's like, am I eating them all the fucking time? No, but there's times where I'll go and I go, I haven't had these in a while. I'll grab a bag and I'll enjoy and. But I actually do agree with you with the twists, Dave. I used to eat those a lot, and then just kind of one day I was like, what, I'm kind of done with these.
Yeah.
I'm like, they're all right.
Yeah.
But what about you, Mike? You got anything against chili cheese?
Nah, I like them. They're actually pretty good. I'll say.
All right, more for you and me then.
That's right.
What's your number 3, Mike?
It's gonna be the classic Doritos Cool Ranch. Cool Ranch flavor.
That's another one where I was like, I like these, but they're never just ones that I'm like, I have to buy them. Like,
I mean, that's
they're like my fourth or fifth choice. Like if I go to Subway, they're like my fourth or fifth choice if they don't have the chips that I like.
Yeah, I mean, I was like getting them as a chip, and even even when I don't know if they still do, but like even when they had the flavor as a taco at Taco Bell, it was fucking amazing. I used to get that shit all the time.
I think.
I'll agree with you, dude. That was my go-to. I would rather have the Cool Ranch taco than I would the chips because the chips are just like anything bigger than a snack size. I go, what's the point? Because after a couple of them, you're like, I'm kind of done on this flavor.
My problem with the Doritos ranch chips, well, really ranch chips in general, is the same issue I have with chili cheese Fritos. As I've gotten older, my palate's changed.
Yeah, that's true.
I cannot eat ranch flavored chips.
Yep.
So I don't know why, because that was my go-to when I was like really young. When I was a little kid, when we go to the store and get Doritos, it would have to be Cool Ranch. Cool Ranch this, Cool Ranch that. Now, just the smell of them makes me sick.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's weird, and I hate it because I used to love them so much.
But that being said, I'll still eat a bowl if you serve it at your pad, Mike, when I come over. So
there you go.
Me too.
I'm not going to say no to Doritos.
You want to take a bag home with you? No, I'm good, but I'll just get a couple.
Is that the Mad Mike special? Like next time, instead of regular corn chips, you're gonna bring Doritos Cool Ranch.
Right.
So
I'm gonna step up my game there.
Awesome.
Queso.
All right.
This is a game.
Yeah. My number 3. I wanted to put a sweet chip on mine, so I cheated a little bit because it's kind of comparable to popcorn. But it's the Popcorners kettle corn chips.
Those kind of chips.
Yeah, they are chips, but they are like popcorn though.
Yeah.
Which I like that it's like a balance between the both. And these are one of the other chips that I'll buy like a big bag of them,
Mhm.
and they'll be gone within 2 days.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, like it's ridiculous. One of my favorite things to do with them, and this is totally like a gluttonous fat guy thing to do, dip them in whipped cream.
There you
They
go.
are good.
I was gonna say make them swim in cake frosting.
No, I haven't tried that, but because I make my own whipped cream for coffee.
But now that I
So
put that idea in your head, you're probably going to, huh?
I'm trying to eat slightly healthier, but maybe one day if I'm looking to cheat, maybe I'll try that. But yeah, the popcorners, kettle corn, and whipped cream. Dipping in whipped cream is really good, especially if you do like the whipped cream that I make with like the brown sugar maple syrup.
Yeah.
It's really good, but
I agree.
I don't know if you guys have had them.
No.
So
I haven't had your whipped cream, and careful
Well,
how you
no.
phrase it. I may or may not.
want any cream? No.
No. I will say this: I applaud you for saying dip it in, because I could totally picture you just shoving popcorn in your mouth and then going after that whipped cream can. Because why add an extra step? Work smarter, not harder.
Well, yeah, the popcorners, kettle corn chips. They also have the cheddar flavor, and the jalapeno cheddar is pretty good also.
Yeah.
But-
I've tried their savory chips, but I haven't tried the sweet ones.
Yeah. Try them. They're really good. I think you'll like them. They're not too high in sugar either, which is nice. So,
So on my
but
list,
Bubs, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is really the only generic chip I have on here, and it's just the classic nacho cheese Doritos.
There you go.
So for me, that's my quick fix when I go to sandwich shops or like anywhere that serves chips, because they're
Yeah.
always going to be there.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's just nacho cheese Doritos are one of those things where I get a bag and I'll just sit there and I'll keep eating and eating and eating and eating. And by the time I realize that, holy shit, I've had these in my hand for the last 10 minutes, the bag's almost empty. So that like I just love nacho cheese Doritos. So
I'll give you a total fat hack with that. If you like the Chick-fil-A original sauce, you dip one of those nacho chips into that sauce, it changes the game, dude.
I've tried
not
it.
even fucking-
I've tried it and I don't like it.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like
I
it.
think you've told us about it before.
Yeah.
So
Oh man, 'cause it just changed my world, dude.
I know a lot of people who do like it. For me, it's I just like the only weird thing I would do with nacho cheese Doritos is I would make a peanut butter sandwich and I would put nacho cheese Doritos in it. So
No, I don't fault you for that. I find your logic in that. I think what it is like, to me, the sauce is kind of sweet and it works with the cheese. But hey, it's fine, dude. I mean, there's no problem. Some people do, some people don't. I mean, I eat that shit with a spoon if I could, man. I have, and I will continue. I love that sauce. I just did it one day at work. There's a firework there, by the way. And I was just
gunshots
like,
going off.
in a little bit, if these fireworks keep coming off. Must have been that bean I had for dinner. But at least, Bubs, I will say this. I do thank you for trying, because you know me, I always stand by my recommendations. And I know it's really more of a person-to-person thing, so I couldn't say it's the greatest thing ever. I just think it changes the whole kind of like, eating the chip, get that extra flavor. Like the sauce does something with the cheese. To me, it works, but to you, it didn't. So no worries on that. But even without it, though, man, it is kind of like, it's like that friend that's always there for you, man.
Right.
You can find it everywhere. It's no matter how old you are, it's going to taste the same. It's going to taste great. It's go-to, and you can easily polish off those chips, man. That's why you get the big party size ones.
I've actually grown more fond of the generic store brand nacho cheese Doritos because they're so much more saltier. So,
yeah,
more cheese.
That's the store brand secret: more sugar, more salt.
Exactly.
Boom.
Yeah.
All right, Crispy, number 2.
Number 2 was the Simply Cheetos Puffs White Cheddar. That's what it's called. I guess Simply is a style that they make. These things, my God, like first
They
of all,
are
they
good.
cannot make a big enough bag. They give you that weird ass fucking medium size. I've looked. I've written letters. They just don't make them any bigger. But those motherfuckers, man, fucking puffs in general are amazing. You know, although I don't like how if you eat enough of them, they get kind of stuck in your teeth and you get that weird like kind of thing going on. But fuck it, man, it's worth it because I mean, it's white cheddar Cheetos are out of this world, man, and that bag, if on a good week, probably like a few days because I just can't get enough of those, man. They're so good.
The white cheddar Doritos are also really good too. The simply white cheddar Doritos.
Haven't tried them, dude, but I gotta tell you, man, I'm not surprised to hear you say that because it's just the Doritos white cheddar flavor. I think across the board is good. Like they have the right blend. I mean, it tastes like white cheddar from my experience. I mean, sometimes these flavors are just more of a tribute, but the white cheddar is what you get. So really fucking good.
Okay, well, we got 9 minutes left. So,
okay,
Mike, what's your number two?
My number two, it's gonna be the old, you know, kind of the old-fashioned sour cream and onion, Ruffles chip. You know, that's actually one of my more go-to snacks. I mean, I actually went and I got a big bag of those today. So
they'll clog the instruments.
That's right.
Well, Mike's always brings them over for our AEW parties, and between me and him, we kind of. And Jeremy, we polish off the bag, so that's another Mad Mike go-to. That's a classic flavor.
Yeah,
it's sour cream and onion chips for Mike, and plain tortilla chips for the rest of us.
That's right.
That's the Mike
pretty much
right there. Love you, Mike.
At this point, he knows what he's doing. I applaud him.
He's torturing the rest of us. It's like, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I thought you liked this.
I thought you liked it. Yeah.
It's a classic, you know. I like sour cream and onion chips dipped in a green onion dip. Like that's one of my favorite things.
I don't.
So really?
No, I don't like any flavored chip and dip. Period.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just like if I'm going to use a dip, it's got to be just regular potato chip.
Oh, Mike left.
Yeah.
I think I hurt his feelings.
He's gonna go get some right now. Dave, I'm with you, man. I don't know if it's a fat thing to do, but when I'm hungry, which is often, and I see chips and I see dip, I say fuck it. Let's do a little bit of exploring. Let's see what works and doesn't work. I'll dip that shit in anything I can find, but a sour cream dip with a sour cream chip, why the fuck not?
Yeah,
it works. Give me that extra flavor, extra sour cream.
Yeah.
Though.
All right, I'm just going to go ahead and go on to my number two. My number two is the Kettle brand Buffalo Blue.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah. There's another one where they only sell like small bags of them, at least where I've been able to find. And they're always at like, Circle K's for some reason. Yeah. So nowhere else, just Circle K. So,
I've never had them. I assume that they're blue cheese flavor.
Blue cheese and buffalo.
Blue cheese and buffalo. They're kind of sweet, like a little sweet, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, they're pretty delicious. And you know, it's Kettle brand. You know, that's probably the most famous Kettle chip. You know, and it's you know, so it's pretty uniform. There's you know, as far as like the crunch and everything, it's whatever you expect it to be. But the flavor is really good. The buffalo isn't too strong, but it's still pretty good.
Yeah,
I'll have to try those. I just got it in the blue cheese, so I'll check it out.
Yeah,
they're tasty, man. They really are.
All right, Bubs. What's number two?
My number two, you know, being a diabetic, it is hard to eat chips because it's straight carbs and it turns to straight sugar.
I know that's why I'm drinking light beer. So
all right, all I have is Miller Lite now. So, but I've become really fond of these lately, and I used to eat them a lot when I worked at Crittenton, the group home. Beep that out. But my number two
it's not going to beeped out. Sorry.
Yeah, right. my number two is El Sabroso's hot and spicy pork cracklings.
Pork cracklings.
Yeah.
Do you like pork cracklings?
Pork cracklings, pork rinds, chicharrones, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's basically protein.
Yeah.
It's basic. It's fried pig fat.
Yeah.
That's been salted.
Isn't it pig skin?
Pigskin, yeah. So well, there's probably fat in there too.
Yeah, obviously.
They're light. They're airy. They've got a nice crunch. They taste pretty good. What I like about the El Sabroso ones is when you open the bag, they give you a packet of hot sauce. So you can squirt the hot sauce in there, shake it up, and have yourself a nice little snack. But yeah,
that's what's
for me. I can eat them and I won't have a blood sugar spike or anything like that. Of course, the sodium levels are high because it's chips.
Yeah.
They're just really tasty, and I was actually eating some today. So
now, Bubs, let me ask you this because I too am a fan of that. I know Mike is as well. Do you have a consistent problem with there being like at least one or two excuse me, that are like rock hard?
Yeah.
That's kind of like rock hard. Yeah, you're like, fuck, if I chuck this at someone, it'll kill them.
Yeah.
It's like that's the only complaint I have. And that's just because of the batch. I mean, some just get a little bit more oil and cook harder. It is what it is. That's the only complaint. But across the board, dude, I mean, I love them, dude. I wish there was bigger backs. That's the only thing.
Yeah, like I bought some store brand Food for Less ones this week, and the bag is big, but after eating like 2 or 3 handfuls of them, it's like, oh shit, it's already half gone. So, but no, I just find the El Sabroso hot pork crackling they're just good. So
cool.
I can't really find them in stores too often, but when I do find them, it's usually in the vending machine.
Interesting. Maybe they'll have them on Amazon. So,
or I'm sure if I go to like a Mexican food market or something like that, they're probably there too.
Yeah. All right, Crispy, what's your number one?
3 minutes.
My number one. Well, if we go a little over, we're fine. We'll do the whole Monday Night Raw thing. We'll kick it over. My number one is at this very part of my life, my absolute favorite chips. It's the Lay's salt and vinegar. Salt and vinegar, I think, would be the more appropriate statement for my all-time favorite. I've had a lot of great ones. The Lay's are they're easy to find. They're everywhere. They're just that chip that's it works. I mean, that blue bag grabs my attention because colors are usually like yellow, red, but when you see that blue, it kind of strikes you, kind of catches your attention. But the flavor on these, man, I think that they're great. I've never had any weak flavors. I mean, you get that salt, you get that vinegar, heavy on the vinegar, but I like I said, I like that in the salt and vinegar. But that's my number one, dude, the Lay's. I just got Jeremy onto him right now. They're his favorite. Every time he comes over, I get him a bag and I say, please, just try to save me a few chips, and he does. But he fucking polishes those, man. Yeah. He fucking goes through them, dude. And so do I. So I can't say anything. But salt and vinegar chips, the Lay's brand is my number one. But I'll accept any salt and vinegar flavor across the board. So,
sweet. My number two is my number one chip of all time. I'm sorry, my number one. I'm sorry.
Your number two is your favorite chip of all time.
Yeah. No, yeah. My number one is my favorite gamer chips of all time. It's gonna be Puff Cheetos. So,
Wimp.
Just get a big bag of those to fucking game it up.
That's a Little Giants reference if you didn't get it. So
crunchy or puffed?
Puff.
Wimp.
Yeah. So
you don't use your helmet as a lunchbox, son. Okay.
Oh God!
There's a turd in the punch bowl. So
what a great throwback. God bless you, Banks and Boys. I love it. That takes me back. I mean, I covered it with the white cheddar, man.
Yeah.
Puffs are just great, dude. Yeah. They're go-to, man.
Yeah, just go-to.
Yeah, I'll admit I'm not a huge fan of Cheetos puffed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a bigger fan of regular Cheetos and the jalapeno cheddar.
Yeah.
Right, and like I don't know what it is about Cheetos puffed. It's just too like styrofoamy for me. Like I like there's another. Yeah, it's very airy. Yeah. I actually like Planters cheese balls more than I liked puffed Cheetos. So, yeah, which I'm surprised Planters cheese balls wasn't on your list, Crispy. So,
Yeah, it's just. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you, man. Sorry. Hey, you knew I was a heartbreaker when you signed up, so I'm sorry.
No, I'm with Mike though. I do like I just like Cheetos in general.
Yeah.
But like with the puffy Cheetos, I do the same thing as I do with nacho cheese Doritos. If I have a peanut butter sandwich,
Mhm.
I like to stuff my peanut butter sandwich with the puffy Cheetos. So
There you go.
so
Or you know what? If you're adventurous like me, just grab a slice of your favorite bread and just fill that bad boy with some puffs, and then just roll
There
it
you
over it.
or tortilla.
Yeah. Wow.
I didn't even think of that.
Changing the
There you
game,
go.
guys.
That's
Changing the
right.
game.
I've always got tortillas, and so does Mike. So, and he's got the puffs. So
Yeah.
make it happen, baby. Good call.
All right. Any other thoughts on Puff Cheetos?
I wish I had some right now.
Yeah, me too.
They are a great gamer chip though, Mike. I
Yeah.
agree with you on that one.
Yeah. Problem is, you get all that stuff on your fingers, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Just,
that's
but it's worth it though. I mean, you're all just. I mean, you're all in the moment, you know.
the bag taken. I have to do two hands because I know you guys. The two
Yeah.
bag where you just shove them in your mouth, and you don't get your lips on the bag because you got to pass it around. So
There you go.
I did fall asleep one time while eating them naked, and one landed in my crotch, and I woke up, and I'm like, oh shit. And then I moved it. I'm like, oh, it's just the same size, and then I just ate it. So.
all right.
Elizabeth just looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
you got a case of the orange dick.
Yeah.
The last time I said kablamo,
Yeah.
Claire looked at me like I was I was retarded. So it is what it is.
So well.
Yeah. She's already sick of me, and she's going to be like, she's on vacation for the next week, so she's going to have to deal with me because I don't think I'm getting a Walmart shift this week.
That's
There
so.
you go.
Yeah, I feel bad for her. But my number one is Kettle Brand dill pickle.
Okay.
Again, something about Kettle Brand chips, they're just kind of sweet. Maybe it's the oil that they fry them in or whatnot, but I love dill pickle chips. They're my favorite chips, like my absolute favorite. And I love dill pickles. I'm famous for eating an entire jar at Nanny's one time.
Yeah, because you're a dill weed.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, that's a true story. When we were kids, I was probably about 7, maybe 6. Dave was 3 or 4.
Yeah.
And our grandma bought a giant jar, like one of those big industrial sized jar of full sized pickles. And he sat there and he ate the whole fucking jar in one sitting.
Oh,
No, I believe it. He's a full size boy.
Yeah.
My favorite. So the reason I like kettle chips so much is I like to put them on sandwiches.
No.
And since it's a lot more crunchy than regular potato chips, it gives it a lot more texture in the sandwich, which I enjoy. So, like, I think. No, that's jalapeno. Never mind. I was thinking of Miss Vicky's chips, but I don't think they do dill pickle. But
Yeah, they do.
Oh, do they?
I think so.
Oh, okay. I know they make a kick-ass salt and vinegar
Oh
chip.
no, I'm thinking of jalapeno.
Oh, okay.
They make a good jalapeno pickle.
Yeah,
or jalapeno chip.
But yeah, the Kettle Brand dill pickle, it's a ruffled chip, which is kind of interesting. It's a Kettle Brand. It's like a kettle ruffle chip, which you don't really ever see any other company doing that.
Yeah.
So I think that is interesting. But yeah, if you haven't had it, it's delicious. And obviously, if you don't like dill pickles, you're not going to like this.
Yeah.
But it's not too like dill pickly either, though.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. Like at first it is, but as you eat them, it's sort of like when you drink like a flavored Dr. Pepper. Like initially you'll get the Dr. Pepper flavor or the like the extra flavor, like whether it's like the cream flavor or the cherry flavor. And then eventually it'll just start tasting like Dr. Pepper. It's the same thing with the Kettle Brand dill pickle.
Flavor fatigue.
Yeah, the flavor, it'll just start tasting like kettle chips eventually, which kind of sucks, but they are my favorite chip.
That's why you can't really indulge in stuff like that, is because you get that flavor fatigue and you need something that's going to kind of cut through that flavor. So when you go back to them, you get that dill pickle flavor again.
My favorite thing to do is just combine the dill pickle with the buffalo blue in the same bowl. So, because then it you kind of get that.
You surprise yourself.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's very good, and it kind of makes the dill pickle spicy pickle. So, yeah. So that's my number one Kettle Brand dill pickle.
Nice. There is one Kettle Brand chip. It's actually a honorable mention in my list, but the Kettle Brand cracked pepper and sea salt.
Yeah, those are delicious.
Those are delicious, and then also the Monterey Jack Doritos. They sell them at 7-Eleven. They're in a white bag. They're so tasty.
Okay.
But my number one, I can't find them in stores anywhere. I could only find them at some certain sandwich shops. But it's the Dirty Brand kettle chips, sour cream and onion.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, the only place that I know that they have them around here is at that New York deli that we ate at that one time, Crispy.
Oh, that was
the day I slipped on PP.
Oh yeah.
But
you have to go into the archives for that story, folks.
Yeah,
that's the Bronx Sandwich Company.
Yeah, the Bronx Sandwich Company. There you go.
Yeah.
But the first place I ever found them when I was working for the 3D printing company that I was working for, there was a deli that was right down the street, and I would eat lunch there every single day. And it's the first place that I found them, and every single time I get a sandwich, I would get them. They're just so good. They're not super crunchy. They're not soft. And they have just like the perfect amount of coating or dusting of the sour cream and onion that you can ask for. But they always taste fresh. Sometimes I find myself just ripping the bag open and just licking the inside just so I can enjoy it just that much longer. Even like the small crumbs that go on, even the small crumbs, because I'm the type of person that just dumps my chips on the plate or whatever. I'll even just lick my finger and press down just to get those final crumbs. Total fat.
Honestly, if you weigh over 250 pounds and you say you haven't done that,
you're fucking lying.
Yeah, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah.
So
no crumbs left behind, boys.
I can't
like when you get like a can of like nuts or something. Like you always you go to the bottom, you finish it, and then all that salt at the bottom. You take your finger and you get all the salt on your finger and you eat it, and then you're like, oh shit, why did I do that? But you do it every fucking time.
Well, that happened with me. I bought one of those big plastic canisters of peanuts, and I sat there and I ate them every single day for about a month, and then I finally got to the bottom, and it's about 1.5 inches of salt, and I stuck my hand all the way in just to get it. I got my hand stuck. I had to cut it off with a jigsaw. But it made the salt more easy accessible to get to, and I just funneled it into my mouth. It was delicious. I wish I could do that with Dirty Brand sour cream and onion chips. That would be amazing. But I can't find them in stores. I can't find them in big bags. They only sell them in the snack size bags, and I can only find them at some like local delis, and that's it. But they're just so good. They've got a pretty good variety of flavored chips, but the sour cream and onion ones are hands down the best ones, and they're the best chips that I've ever had.
If I'll look on the internet to see if I can find them.
Yeah.
And then I'll send this also.
Somebody's got a birthday coming up. It's CJ's. It's in like 2 weeks.
Oh.
So.
Yeah. It's gonna,
I was like, wait a minute.
I was gonna say, I appreciate it, boys, but October is quite a bit of ways.
Yeah. We still have to go do Dave's at the chicken place down here.
Yeah, we
So-
did.
Oh, are they open again?
Yeah, they're open.
Okay, good. So maybe in a few weeks, in a couple weeks, like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So.
I have a job interview this week, so we'll have to plan it around my my work schedule.
Of course.
So
I'm sorry, but it sounded like you said we got to go do Dave at a chicken place. I was just like,
well,
yeah.
I'd rather not I'd rather not have that happen, but if it means I eat good fried chicken,
There you go.
I don't know.
Oh man, I gotta tell you, man, just the way that sentence was arranged, I gotta say I'm not exactly saying no, but let's see what happens.
We'll have a few drinks and see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully, a memory loss is what happens with a few drinks, but we'll see. But Bubs, the Dirty Brand, I don't know if you've ever mentioned them before. I can't recall ever hearing them, but gotta say though, man, it's definitely a great name for chips, man. You know, I would definitely try a bag of those because to me, dirty just means like, look, you know, we're not about presentation, we're about flavor, and I think it's what comes across.
And that's exactly what it is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, they're just really good tasting chips, and when you like you said, they're not about presentation, they're not about being pretty or anything like that. It's just a dirty bag of chips with a bunch of seasoning, and they just taste really good. So,
Oh man, go with some dirty burgers.
yeah, hell yeah,
Dirty burgers.
little dirty burger.
Or
All
some
right.
dirty, moist as fuck chicken, huh, Dave?
Do you guys have any honorable mentions that you wanted to mention before we end this?
Well,
I don't
Planters
know.
cheese balls come to mind.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
I just went through a can of those the other day. So
And that
Yeah,
was from
you
the
know-
checkout stand of your car.
yeah, pretty much. So
Excuse you check out one of the bag boys or one of the people that work there. Hey, there's an empty fucking thing with chips in there. Should do something about it. I would with the cheese balls. Hell, even the little fucking those cheese sticks, man, those are fucking good too.
Yeah.
I just say Planters chips across the board,
In
man.
general.
For me.
Yeah.
cheese curls.
Cheese curls. Thank you.
There
That's
you
the one. I mean, you touched upon it throughout the topic there, but the Vicky's brand chips are fucking good. I think the jalapeno ones are one of the best. I'm not a big spicy guy, but god damn it, I do love those. Yeah, that's what I got. I mean, there's so many fucking chips, dude. I'm a total fat guy. I can name 100 chips, but those are the two definitely I want to throw as my honorable mention.
My honorable mentions are Takis crunchy fajitas. Like I was never into Takis for a long time, and then we got like that. What was it, like the Doritos version of it or whatever? And I was like, oh, these are pretty good. Then I actually tried Takis. I'm like, oh, these are better. So, and then Pringles dill pickle.
Okay.
So, I don't want I need to stop buying Pringles because I'm one that'll go through an entire can within a couple days. So,
Let me give you some great advice, man. Those chips at the bottom of the can, sometimes you just gotta let them go, man.
but yeah, Mike, any honorable mentions?
None for me now. That's
All right.
all my basic chips there, you know.
All right. All right. Do we want to recap our list? Or
Two
not?
more honorable mentions. Wood and chocolate.
Okay. All righty then. I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
And sun.
There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do we want to recap our list, or do we not care enough to do so?
We don't care. They can go back and listen.
All right. Crispy has to get out of here, and Mad Mike said he was on a time crunch also, but he hasn't mentioned anything. So I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
That's it for episode 47. Thank you for listening to the F.A.T podcast. If you want to support us, go buy our merch at Teespring. The links are on the website. They're on the Instagram. They're on everything. You'll find it. We have the YouTube page. Like and subscribe. If you're listening to the audio version, leave us a review on the iTunes or whatever it's called, Apple Podcasts. I can't remember what it's called now. But yeah, I think that'll do it.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
yeah. We're your hosts. Say that again. What were you gonna say, Bubs?
I was gonna say it was good seeing you boys. I missed you guys, and
Yeah, man. Good seeing you, bud.
we'll get back to you guys next week, and I'll try to think of a topic.
All right.
Sounds good, guys.
So we are your hosts.
I'm Bubs.
I'm Debo.
I'm Mad Mike.
I'm crispy.
We didn't screw up this time.
Yeah.
Hey.
Keep on jiggling,
And
you
we're
fat
back.
fuck.
All right. Peace.
All right, boys. Take it easy,
Shake
boys.
what your mama gave you.
All right. See you.
She gave me
Later, guys.
hot. Later.